As you go through your day, it feels like you're making hundreds of individual conscious decisions, but the reality is quite different. Nearly half of everything you do today will happen completely on autopilot. Researchers estimate that between 40 and 50% of our daily actions are driven entirely by existing habits. You aren't constantly choosing, you are largely repeating. This is why our ambitions often turn against us. We get a burst of excitement about getting in shape or writing a book, and we immediately attempt to overhaul our entire routine. We set a massive goal, but the sheer friction of executing such a drastic change day after day is exhausting. The motivation burns out, the effort feels too heavy, and we give up. Falling short like this is rarely about a lack of character or willpower. It happens because we misunderstand how the brain actually navigates the entry points to our behaviors. Consider what happens right around 5:15 in the evening. You walk through the front door after a long day of work. In that exact second, you face a microscopic choice. You can either walk to the bedroom and change into your workout clothes, or you can drop your bags and crash onto the couch. That specific, tiny action acts as an entrance ramp to a behavioral highway. Once you're on the ramp, human nature dictates that continuing what you're already doing is far easier than starting something new. If you choose the couch, you don't actively decide to waste the evening, but before you know it, you're speeding toward a 2-hour television binge and ordering takeout. This diagram shows what we call a decisive moment. It's a fork in the road that locks in your trajectory. Once you make that initial choice, your future options for the next few hours are physically constrained by where that path leads. Because our time is bounded by where these initial choices send us, taking control of your day doesn't mean micromanaging every hour. It comes down to mastering just a handful of these tiny habitual intersections. Twyla Tharp is widely regarded as one of the greatest dancers and choreographers of the modern era, eventually earning a MacArthur Fellowship, often called the Genius Grant. Her career demanded peak physical conditioning, which meant waking up at 5:30 a.m. every day to complete a brutal 2-hour weight training and stretching routine at a Manhattan gym. But she attributes her consistency to something much smaller. As she wrote, "The ritual is not the stretching and weight training I put my body through each morning at the gym. The ritual is the cab." By putting on her hat, then walking outside, giving the gym's address, the entire morning is completely habitualized. That one simple act removes any need to decide. Elite performers don't rely on a massive reserve of willpower to force themselves through difficult tasks. They rely on incredibly simple rituals that make doing the hard work inevitable. You can artificially create these entry points in your own life using a framework known as the 2-minute rule. The rule states that when you start a new habit, it should take less than 2 minutes to do. If your goal is to run a marathon, the friction is incredibly high. You have to strip away all the difficulty of that massive objective until you find a gateway action that requires almost zero effort to start. We plot goals from very hard to very easy. A marathon is very hard. A 5K is hard. Putting on running shoes is very easy. Your gateway. Apply this anywhere. Read before bed becomes read one page. Yoga becomes take out my mat. You might think this is just a mental trick, that you're trying to fool yourself because you know the real goal is to do more than 2 minutes. If it feels forced, there is a simple mandate. You must actually stop the action after 120 seconds. This exact philosophy was utilized by Ernest Hemingway. He advised writers to always stop their daily writing session while the work was still going well, forcing a hard stop before the task felt like a chore. The purpose here is to master the habit of simply showing up. You cannot optimize a habit that does not exist yet. You have to standardize the entry point before you can worry about the final result. These minimal actions carry a weight far past a single workout or finished chapter. They are the mechanism for rewriting your personal identity. Every time you step into the gym for those first 2 minutes, you cast a definitive vote for the type of person you want to become. 1 minute of reading or a single push-up might seem insignificant when you are focused on an end goal, but executing that tiny action is mathematically and psychologically superior to doing nothing at all. True behavior change is about taking the smallest action that confirms your new self-image. It is about proving that you are the type of person who consistently shows up. Once you have mastered that 2-minute entry point, you can safely scale the behavior back up toward your ultimate goal using a technique called habit shaping. Habit shaping divides a goal into 5 phases. Focus entirely on mastering the first phase before advancing. If exercising 3 times a week is the goal, phase 1, changing clothes, is the lead domino, tipping you through the stages until the objective becomes reality. The mechanism for success is the cab, not the gym. Consistency will always beat sheer motivation. By mastering the 2-minute entry point of your behavior, you automatically change the trajectory of your entire life.